Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant noise and distractions of everyday life? Do you find yourself yearning for a deeper connection to your spiritual self? In a world that is constantly demanding our attention and energy, it's easy to feel disconnected from our inner selves and our spiritual path. But what if there was a simple yet powerful way to reconnect with our spiritual essence and unlock our inner potential? The answer lies in the power of solitude. Solitude is often misunderstood as a state of loneliness or isolation, but in reality, it is a profound opportunity for self-discovery and spiritual growth. When we intentionally create space for solitude in our lives, we open ourselves up to a world of inner exploration and transformation. By disconnecting from the external world and turning our attention inward, we can begin to cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. In this video, we will delve into the importance of solitude for spiritual growth and explore practical ways to incorporate it into our daily lives. We will examine the challenges of finding solitude in a world that is constantly vying for our attention, and provide strategies for overcoming the discomfort that can arise when we first begin to spend time alone. By the end of this video, you will have a deeper appreciation for the transformative power of solitude and the tools you need to make it a regular part of your spiritual practice. To fully grasp the significance of solitude in our spiritual journey, it's important to understand what it is and what it is not. Solitude is the state of being alone, but it is not the same as loneliness. Loneliness is a negative emotional state that arises when we feel disconnected from others and unfulfilled in our social relationships. Solitude, on the other hand, is a conscious choice to spend time alone for the purpose of self-reflection, introspection, and spiritual growth. When we intentionally create space for solitude in our lives, we open ourselves up to a range of benefits that can enhance our overall well-being and spiritual development. Solitude provides us with an opportunity to disconnect from the external world and tune into our inner selves. It allows us to quiet the noise of our minds and connect with our deepest thoughts, feelings, and desires. In the stillness of solitude, we can begin to hear the whispers of our intuition and the guidance of our inner wisdom. Solitude also provides us with a space for self-reflection and introspection. When we are constantly surrounded by others and immersed in the demands of daily life, it can be challenging to find the time and space to reflect on our experiences and process our emotions. Solitude gives us permission to pause and explore our inner landscape without the distractions of the outside world. It allows us to ask ourselves deep questions about our values, beliefs, and purpose in life, and to gain clarity on the path ahead. In today's fast-paced and hyper-connected world, finding moments of solitude can feel like an impossible task. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we are bombarded with constant stimuli and demands on our attention. Our phones buzz with notifications, our email inboxes overflow with messages, and our social media feeds stream an endless supply of content. It's no wonder that so many of us feel overwhelmed and disconnected from ourselves and our spiritual path. The noise of modern life can be particularly challenging for those seeking spiritual growth. When we are constantly plugged in and tuned out, it can be difficult to find the space and silence necessary for deep introspection and connection with our inner selves. The constant barrage of information and stimulation can leave us feeling scattered, anxious, and disconnected from our true nature. To cultivate a deeper sense of spiritual awareness and growth, it's essential that we create intentional spaces of solitude in our lives. This may mean setting aside dedicated time each day for meditation or contemplation, disconnecting from technology for a period of time, or seeking out quiet spaces in nature where we can be alone with our thoughts. By consciously creating boundaries around our time and attention, we can begin to carve out the space necessary for spiritual exploration and growth. One of the most profound benefits of solitude is the opportunity it provides for connecting with our inner selves. In the stillness of solitude, we can begin to tune into the subtle whispers of our intuition and the deep wisdom of our souls. We can start to explore the contours of our emotional landscape and gain a deeper understanding of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Self-reflection and introspection are essential tools for spiritual growth, and solitude provides the perfect environment for engaging in these practices. When we take the time to sit with ourselves and explore our inner world, we can begin to identify patterns of thought and behavior that may be holding us back from living our most authentic and fulfilling lives. We can start to question long-held beliefs and assumptions and open ourselves up to new perspectives and possibilities. Solitude also allows us to cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness. When we are constantly surrounded by others and immersed in the demands of daily life, it can be easy to lose touch with our own needs, desires, and boundaries. By spending time alone, we can begin to reconnect with ourselves and develop a clearer sense of who we are and what we want out of life. We can learn to listen to the whispers of our hearts and trust in the wisdom of our own inner guidance. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing our attention to the present moment with openness, curiosity, and non-judgment. It is a powerful tool for spiritual growth and self-discovery, and solitude provides the perfect environment for cultivating this essential skill. In the stillness of solitude, we can begin to observe our thoughts and emotions with greater clarity and objectivity. We can start to notice patterns of negativity or self-doubt and learn to redirect our attention to more positive and empowering thoughts. We can also begin to cultivate a deeper sense of presence and awareness, learning to fully inhabit each moment without getting lost in the distractions of the past or the worries of the future. There are many mindfulness practices that can be done in solitude, from formal meditation to simple breathing exercises. One powerful practice is to simply sit in silence and observe the natural world around you. Notice the way the light shifts and changes throughout the day, the subtle movements of the wind in the trees, the sounds of birds and insects. By bringing our full attention to the present moment, we can begin to cultivate a deeper sense of connection and appreciation for the world around us. Another powerful mindfulness practice is to engage in a creative activity, such as writing, painting, or playing music. When we allow ourselves to fully immerse in the creative process, we can begin to access deeper levels of intuition and insight. We can also use our creative expression as a way to process and release emotions, gaining a greater sense of clarity and understanding about our inner world. Solitude is not only essential for spiritual growth, but also for unlocking our creative potential. Throughout history, many of the world's greatest thinkers, artists, and innovators have relied on solitude as a source of inspiration and insight. From the quiet contemplation of philosophers like Henry David Thoreau to the secluded studios of artists like Georgia O'Keeffe, solitude has long been recognized as a catalyst for creative expression. When we allow ourselves to be alone with our thoughts and ideas, we create the space necessary for new insights and inspirations to emerge. In the stillness of solitude, we can begin to access deeper levels of our imagination and tap into the wellspring of our creative energy. We can also use solitude as a time to experiment with new ideas and techniques, free from the distractions and expectations of others. Solitude can also help us to develop a stronger sense of our own unique, creative voice. When we are constantly surrounded by the opinions and influences of others, it can be challenging to discern our own authentic expression. By spending time alone, we can begin to explore our own creative impulses and develop a clearer sense of our artistic vision and purpose. One of the most powerful ways to experience the benefits of solitude is to spend time alone in nature. There is something deeply healing and transformative about immersing ourselves in the beauty and wonder of the natural world. When we step away from the noise and distractions of modern life and allow ourselves to be fully present in the stillness of nature, we open ourselves up to a profound sense of connection and spiritual renewal. Nature has a way of reminding us of our place in the larger web of life. When we gaze up at the vast expanse of the night sky or stand in the presence of a towering mountain range, we cannot help but feel a sense of awe and humility. We are reminded of the incredible beauty and complexity of the universe and our own small but significant place within it. Spending time alone in nature can also help us to cultivate a deeper sense of presence and mindfulness. When we allow ourselves to fully immerse in the sensory experience of the natural world, we can begin to quiet the chatter of our minds and tune into the wisdom of our bodies and hearts. We can learn to move at a slower pace, attuned to the rhythms of the earth and the cycles of the seasons. There are many ways to incorporate solitude in nature into our spiritual practice. We can take a solo hike in the woods, sit quietly by a stream or lake, or simply find a peaceful spot in our own backyard to sit and observe the world around us. The key is to allow ourselves to be fully present in the moment without the distractions of technology or other people. Despite the many benefits of solitude, many of us feel a sense of discomfort or even fear at the prospect of spending time alone. We may worry that we will feel lonely or bored, or that we will be confronted with difficult emotions or thoughts that we would rather avoid. We may also feel pressure from society to be constantly connected and productive, viewing solitude as a waste of time or a sign of weakness. To overcome the fear of solitude, it's important to recognize that these feelings are natural and common. It's okay to feel uncomfortable or uncertain at first, and it's important to approach solitude with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than judgment or resistance. We can start by setting aside small periods of time each day to be alone, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time. We can also remind ourselves of the many benefits of solitude and the ways in which it can support our spiritual growth and overall well-being. Another helpful strategy is to reframe our perception of solitude from a negative to a positive experience. Instead of viewing solitude as a punishment or a sign of social failure, we can begin to see it as a gift and an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. We can remind ourselves that many of the world's greatest thinkers and leaders have relied on solitude as a source of strength and inspiration, and that by embracing solitude, we are joining a long and noble tradition of spiritual seekers and creative visionaries. To fully experience the benefits of solitude, it's important to make it a regular part of our daily lives. This doesn't mean that we need to spend hours alone each day, but rather that we create intentional spaces for solitude and reflection amidst the busyness of our daily routines. One simple way to integrate solitude into our lives is to create a daily practice of meditation or contemplation. This can be as simple as setting aside 10 minutes each morning to sit in silence and focus on our breath, or taking a few moments at the end of each day to reflect on our experiences and emotions. By making solitude a regular part of our daily routine, we create a sense of structure and discipline around our spiritual practice, and we signal to ourselves and others that this time is sacred and important. Another way to integrate solitude into our lives is to set boundaries around our time and attention. This may mean saying no to social invitations or work commitments that don't align with our values or priorities, or setting aside dedicated time each week for solitude and self-care. It may also mean creating physical spaces in our homes or workplaces that are conducive to solitude and reflection, such as a quiet corner or a separate room where we can go to be alone. Ultimately, integrating solitude into our daily lives requires a willingness to prioritize our own needs and well-being, even in the face of external pressures and demands. It requires us to recognize that taking time for ourselves is not selfish or indulgent, but rather an essential part of our spiritual growth and development. By making solitude a regular part of our lives, we create the space necessary for deep introspection, creativity, and connection with our inner selves and the world around us. The benefits of solitude extend far beyond mere relaxation or stress relief. When we create intentional spaces for solitude in our lives, we open ourselves up to a profound sense of spiritual growth and transformation. Solitude allows us to deepen our connection with our own inner wisdom and with the larger spiritual forces at work in the universe. One of the most powerful spiritual benefits of solitude is the way in which it can help us to develop a stronger sense of intuition and inner guidance. In the stillness of solitude, we can begin to hear the whispers of our own hearts and the promptings of our souls. We can learn to trust in our own inner knowing and to make decisions based on our deepest values and aspirations, rather than the expectations or opinions of others. Solitude can also be a powerful catalyst for spiritual breakthroughs and epiphanies. When we allow ourselves to be fully present in the moment without the distractions of the external world, we create the space necessary for deep insights and revelations to emerge. We may suddenly see a situation or relationship in a new light, or gain a profound understanding of our own purpose and path in life. Ultimately, the spiritual benefits of solitude are rooted in the way in which it allows us to connect more deeply with ourselves and with the larger mysteries of the universe. By creating intentional spaces for solitude and reflection, we open ourselves up to the transformative power of our own inner wisdom and the guidance of the divine. We learn to trust in the unfolding of our own unique journey and to find meaning and purpose in even the most challenging of circumstances. As we explore the power of solitude for spiritual growth, it's important to remember that this is a journey, not a destination. There is no fixed endpoint or final goal, but rather a continuous process of self-discovery and transformation. The key is to approach solitude with a sense of openness, curiosity, and compassion, and to trust in the unfolding of our own unique path. This means being patient and compassionate with ourselves, even when the journey feels challenging or uncomfortable. It means recognizing that spiritual growth is not always a linear process, and that there will be times of struggle and uncertainty alongside moments of clarity and insight. It means being willing to let go of our preconceptions and expectations, and to allow ourselves to be surprised and transformed by the power of solitude. Ultimately, embracing the journey of solitude requires a deep commitment to our own spiritual growth and well-being. It requires us to prioritize our own needs and desires, even in the face of external pressures and demands. It requires us to trust in the wisdom of our own hearts and the guidance of the universe, and to have faith in the transformative power of solitude. By making solitude a regular part of our spiritual practice, we open ourselves up to a profound sense of connection, creativity, and inner peace. We learn to navigate the challenges of life with greater clarity and resilience, and to find meaning and purpose in even the most difficult of circumstances. We discover the power of our own inner wisdom and the guidance of the divine, and we learn to trust in the unfolding of our own unique journey. In a world that is constantly demanding our attention and energy, solitude is a powerful tool for spiritual growth and transformation. By creating intentional spaces for solitude in our lives, we open ourselves up to a profound sense of connection, creativity, and inner peace. We learn to navigate the challenges of life with greater clarity and resilience, and to find meaning and purpose in even the most difficult of circumstances. Throughout this video, we have explored the many benefits of solitude for spiritual growth, from the way in which it allows us to connect more deeply with our own inner wisdom, to the way in which it can serve as a catalyst for creative expression and insight. We have also examined the challenges of finding solitude in a world that is constantly vying for our attention, and provided strategies for overcoming the discomfort and fear that can arise when we first begin to spend time alone. As we come to the end of this exploration, I encourage you to begin incorporating solitude into your own life in whatever way feels authentic and meaningful to you. This may mean setting aside dedicated time each day for meditation or contemplation, seeking out quiet spaces in nature where you can be alone with your thoughts, or simply learning to say no to social invitations or work commitments that don't align with your values or priorities. Remember, the journey of solitude is a continuous process of self-discovery and transformation. There is no fixed endpoint or final goal, but rather an ongoing invitation to explore the depths of your own inner world and to connect more deeply with the larger mysteries of the universe. By approaching solitude with a sense of openness, curiosity, and compassion, you open yourself up to a profound sense of spiritual growth and renewal. So take a deep breath. Trust in the unfolding of your own unique path, and allow yourself to be surprised and transformed by the power of solitude. You may just discover a sense of inner peace, clarity, and purpose that you never knew was possible. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration, and may your own path of solitude be filled with wonder, insight, and transformation.